Why does Gary Gensler hate crypto so much? High hopes followed the appointment of Gary Gensler as chair of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, in April 2021. The crypto community saw him as a potential ally given his background as a crypto-savvy professor. 2 years into his tenure, he has become crypto enemy number one. Welcome to the channel, guys. In today's video, we will place the spotlight on a man who has become one of the most controversial U.S. public servants in recent times. Gary Gensler is a man Twitter #crypto loves to hate, and he's never failed to give them reasons to do so. However, in the foggy battlefield between the SEC and the crypto industry, we have lost sight of what exactly is being fought for and why. Is Gary Gensler just a bald tyrant as X and Reddit say he is? Or is he a victim of his job description? Why exactly does Gary Gensler hate crypto so much? Let's find out. Crypto enemy number one. Although Gensler is relatively new to the spotlight, he did not come from nowhere. Despite the view of some of his opponents might have of him, justified as they may be, Gensler is not a puppet raised out of oblivion. He had a distinguished career in the public and private sectors. He was a partner at Goldman Sachs for nearly 2 decades and held several leadership positions in finance, trading, and tech. He was also Assistant Secretary for the Treasury for Financial Markets and the Undersecretary of the Treasury for Domestic Finance under President Bill Clinton's administration. Next, he was appointed as Chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or CFTC, by President Barack Obama. His tenure was marked by the rigorous implementation of the Dodd-Frank Act, as well as regulation of the derivatives market after the 2008 financial crisis. Outside the bureaucracy, Gensler is also a professor of the practice of global economics and management at the MIT Sloan School of Management and senior advisor to the MIT Media Lab's digital currency initiative. It was his courses on blockchain technology and digital currencies at MIT that made many anticipate a crypto-friendly SEC following his appointment. He has pretty much dashed those hopes to the ground. His name has become synonymous with the anti-crypto stance held by top financial heavyweights and regulators, from SEC staff to Warren Buffett. But why fight against something whose benefits you have repeatedly acknowledged? From crypto friend to crypto fiend, what exactly does Gary Gensler want? Gensler's stance on crypto. Bitcoin. Gary Gensler's stance on Bitcoin has been simple and consistent. Bitcoin is a commodity, not a security. To classify an asset, the U.S. Supreme Court performs the Howey test. According to the Howey test, an asset can be classified as a security if money is invested in a common enterprise with the expectation of profit obtained from the efforts of others. Based on the test, Bitcoin is a commodity because it does not have an issuer or central distributor that controls its supply or value. It is decentralized, and its value is determined by users. Since the SEC is only concerned with securities, Bitcoin's regulation falls outside their purview. However, as a commodity under the Commodity Exchange Act, it is subject to regulation by the CFTC. Altcoins. It is in seeking regulation for altcoins that Gensler stirs up much resentment toward himself. Although Bitcoin is the dominant cryptocurrency, altcoins make up the better part of the crypto community. Any arrow shot here is returned by 1,000 archers. Gensler's unclear stance on altcoins does not help matters. He has insisted that most altcoins should be considered securities under federal securities laws, but he has neither specified which of them are securities nor given clear rules on how to determine their status. Based on his interpretation of the Howey test, altcoins are issued through ICOs or have some form of governance, hence involves investments with the expectation of profit from the efforts of network developers, promoters, or validators. He has aggressively enforced his views on the industry, with the SEC heavily penalizing crypto projects that run foul of regulations. Crypto lending platform BlockFi was Gensler's first scapegoat. The company was fined $100 million in February 2022 for offering and selling a crypto lending project. SEC stated that it had violated the registration provisions of the Investment Company Act of 1940 by failing to register its BlockFi interests accounts. Half of the fine went to the SEC, while the other half was paid to 32 states. Months later, Coinbase shelved plans to roll out a lending project after the SEC threatened legal action. By penalizing and successfully getting BlockFi to submit, Gensler sent shivers through the crypto space. Nevertheless, the battle is still on. The SEC versus Ripple case is cited by opponents as another instance of Gensler's rigorous anti-crypto stance. The regulatory agency had sued Ripple for selling an unregistered security offering to investors, raising $1.3 billion in sales. Unfortunately for Gensler, he was not going to get another win. The lawsuit has gradually attained infamy after Ripple won a spectacular victory in 2023 and the SEC was forced to withdraw its lawsuit. Stablecoins. Although stablecoins do not share the extreme volatility of Bitcoin and altcoins, Gensler has pushed for similar regulations for the asset. Stablecoins are digital assets designed to maintain value relative to another asset, such as a fiat currency, a commodity, or a basket of assets. Their value is pegged to that asset, and their value rises and falls with the pegged asset's value. Furthermore, they're used as a medium of exchange, a store of value, or a bridge between different blockchains. Based on his assessment of the risks and challenges of stablecoins to the financial system, Gensler has taken a firm stance on regulating them. However, his position on the matter is even more distorted than that of altcoins. Although he has highlighted troubling issues like transparency, accountability, governance, and market integrity, he has yet to propose any clear plans for regulation. His response to questions on the lack of concrete action is that he is working with fellow regulators at the CFTC, Federal Reserve, Treasury Department, and other agencies for a solution. He has also expressed the desire to engage with Congress and the crypto industry to develop a clear and consistent regulatory framework for stablecoins. But it doesn't change the fact that nothing has changed yet. Overall, Gensler's anti-crypto philosophy is based on two principles. Firstly, all financial products or services should be subject to some form of regulation or oversight. In addition, existing laws should be applied consistently and fairly to everyone in the market. These are honorable ideas, yes, but they only explain what it should be. Gary Gensler is having a harder time telling the crypto community the how and why. Kicking back. Obviously, Gensler's aggressive regulations have been returned with similar aggression. While crypto companies have done surprisingly well in keeping SEC's crypto hounds off their flesh, it is the user communities that have raged with the most intensity, especially on X and Reddit. Gensler is painted as a tyrant who seeks to impede the growth of the industry at any cost. He has been described as an attention-seeking public servant, puppet of the 1%, and more lewd appellations that would not be said in this video to preserve decency. His opponents have varying reasons for picking quarrels with him. Many regard him as a hypocrite whose words are as slippery as Elon Musk's loyalty to Dogecoin. Initially believed to be a crypto advocate, his stormy relationship with the industry has made them resent him. Some point out that his previous refusal to approve spot ETFs exposes his falseness. The SEC boss has insisted that he only seeks the protection of investors, but the community disagrees. Futures are notably riskier and more manipulative than spot ETFs, but have been approved by the SEC. They argue that it makes no sense to only approve the former. Deny both or approve spot too, a subreddit comment reads. Given that spot ETFs have finally been approved, perhaps the animosity created by the initial reluctance would abate. But Gensler doesn't seem to be happy about it and took to X to iterate that although the ETFs have been approved, SEC was not endorsing Bitcoin. The tweet came days after he had tweeted that the ETF approval was false news, then later backtracked. His seeming past friendship with jailed Sam Bankman-Fried has also put him in a negative light. His detractors partially blame him for the multi-million-dollar fraud that was FTX, even though it was the lack of regulations that made FTX such a disaster. Finally, there are a few that quite aptly and irrationally dislike him for his fight against Grayscale ETF. Or maybe they just don't like his bald head. Unbowed, unbent, unbroken. It is unlikely that the resentment on social media would rein in Gensler's aggressive methods. Whatever is being said on X has little chance of changing his mind as he is focused on the merits of the policies he is evangelizing. Ripple's attorney, Stuart Alderodi, has surmised that most tweets against him were meant to poke the bear who is refusing to cooperate. The frustration of his opponents stems mainly from Gensler's lack of negative interaction, or lack of it, with the crypto community. Nonetheless, Gary Gensler has remained rigid in his stance. Borrowing from the popular Game of Thrones series, Gensler has remained unbowed, unbent, and unbroken. Thank you for staying with us till the end. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell to stay updated with our channel. Until next time, bye for now.